So here's how delta debugging works. First, we split the input into n subsets, where initially n has a value of 2. Second, if removing any of these subsets fails, proceed with this very subset. This is what we have for our input. We split the input into initially 2 subsets, and if any of these subsets fails, as in here, we proceed with this very subset. Otherwise, we simply go and increase the granularity. That is, we double the number of subsets. And we go again to step 1. Let's try this out on our input over here. So, at this point, we already tried out removing the second half of the input and removing the first half of the input. Neither removal of the subset would fail. So now we have to increase the granularity by coming up with now 4 subsets. This is a 10-character input, so each of our subsets will have between 2 and 3 characters. For a change, let's try removing the first 2 characters. Well, no select tag, no failure. We put them back and remove the next 3 characters. Still no failure, which gets us an SCT tag. No failure. Now again we remove the next 3 characters, CT and the greater tag. No select tag, no failure. And now we remove the last 2 characters. At this point we have the select tag by itself, and again we have a failure. So what should we do in this case? Should we now go and start again with 2 subsets, that is setting n to 2? Or should we go and set n to the number of subsets we had before, -1, because there's 1 less? Experiments show that it's best to stick with the granularity you once have achieved, because then you won't have to track back through all the levels of granularity you already have seen. So we set n to n-1, which means that in our case we would have 3 subsets. However, we don't want n to become less than 2, because otherwise we just have 1 subset. So we set n to the maximum of n-1 and 2, such that n can never fall below 2. So at this point, our input is just the select tag, it fails, and the number of subsets is 3. What is it that delta debugging would do next, according to this description of the algorithm? And what is the next test that delta debugging has to conduct? Is this the select tag as a whole? Is this the select tag with the second half removed? Is this the select tag with a first third removed? Or is this just CT, that is the last third of the input? Over to you.